Okay, so now we are in Mount Nebo, and this village over here is called Moses Springs. Now this is in reference, yes, this is in reference to the biblical story in the Old Testament, when Moses struck the rock with his staff and water came out. Okay, now this is not what's important about this village. What is most important about this village is this is where my mother was born. It is true, yes, it is true. And if you take a look over there in the corner of the village, there is this big tree. Underneath this big tree, there used to be the water pumps. Now, it was called Moses Springs because it was rich with water, underground water. And the water that was coming from under the ground was pumped to the city of Mount Nebo, which we'll be visiting after here. And my grandfather was responsible for maintaining and operating those pumps. Now, yes. Now, what I want you to know as well, we call it Moses Springs, but between here and Israel, Palestine, and Egypt, there are 12 locations that are called Moses Springs. So we do not know which one actually was it. But this one is the most probable one because this is closest to Mount Nebo, which is where Moses stood, according to the Bible, and saw the promised land. This is where he got the vision from God, in which he saw the promised land. Of course, I will talk later more about this story once we get to the top. Okay? Now we'll take a few pictures and we'll continue. Tell me, what do you see?
A face.
A face, bravo. A side profile.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see? The forehead, the eye,
Yeah.
the nose, the mouth, and the beard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now this monument was designed by an Italian artist called Beccarello, and this was intentional. He was trying to draw Moses' face, or at least what he thought what he looked like. Yes, so yeah, this is some kind of an illusion. Now once you get closer, you cannot see it anymore. Yes, so yeah, come let's see, and let me tell you what's this monument, why it was built, and what does it mean. Of the Pope John Paul II during his visit to the Holy Land, and of course it was a historical visit at the time. It was on the 20th of March, the date of the visit, and this monument was built to commemorate the visit, and also it was to send a message. Now, Prophet Moses, is not only exclusive to one of the three Abrahamic religions. Moses is mentioned in the Old Testament, and in the New Testament, the Bible in general, and in the Quran as well. Moses is actually the most mentioned prophet in the Quran. So what the message is trying to say here, and it is written in those words. It says Unos Deus, which means one God, Pater Omnium, Father for all, Super Omnis, with love encompassing everyone. So this is to say that this site is not only exclusive to Christians or Jews or Muslims. No, it is for everyone. And of course, here on the floor, those are the names of the people who contributed both physically and financially to the building of this monument. And if you take a look at the monument, the monument from this side, you will see it has the shape of a book. And over here we have a monument that was ordered to be built by the Pope to say thank you to the Brotherhood of the Franciscans. Now, who are the Brotherhood of the Franciscans? The Brotherhood of the Franciscans are the people who came here in 1933 and purchased this land, and they have been looking after this place since then. And as a thank you for their efforts, the Pope wanted to say thank you by erecting this monument. Now, if we are lucky, we will see one of those priests. They are known for wearing the brown robes with a rope tied around their waist. Yes, yeah. More well preserved and still being showcased because they are impressive pieces of art. Those mosaics, they date back to they are more than 1,500 years old. And this is what is most impressive about the art of the mosaic. Of course, the art of mosaic, it means it is basically a pixelated picture. See all of those pieces of stone. Those are pieces of stone that are cut in small pieces and glued the painting. And what is impressive about it, and you can see it after all of this time, the colors have not faded. How is that possible? This is possible because this is the color of the stone itself. It is not painted. This is the color of the stone itself. And this is what makes mosaic art very special. It is very durable, yes. And of course, Madaba city, which we will be visiting in a moment, is known, its nickname is the city of mosaic because it is the second most well-known city to produce mosaic after Rome. Yes. The Rolling Stones? The band? No, we're not going to talk about the band. We're going to talk about the actual things. So yes, this is the Abu Bad Rolling Stone. Abu Bad is the name of the village where this Rolling Stone was found. And there was another monastery there as well. Now those Rolling Stones have been used in ancient times to protect the places which they were at the entrance. So if an invasion happened or somebody attacked this place, they would just roll the stone and close off the entrance. And I don't know if during your visit in Israel you might have seen the Rolling Stone that covered the tomb of Christ. This is has a very similar design, except that this one is twice the size of that Rolling Stone. Yes. Moses, it was written in the Bible that Moses stood on Mount Nebo and God showed him the promised land. Now, there are two things, very important things that we need to know about this. The first, Mount Nebo is the place where he saw the promised land. It was not the place where he died, and this is a misconception that some people fall in. We do not know where Moses died and where he was buried. It mentions in the Bible that he was buried in the mountains of Moab. Moab was the kingdom that covered this place over here, and the mountains of Moab go on for 30 kilometers further to the south. So we do not know exactly where his burial place is. The second thing that we need to note is that when he stood here, he saw the promised land in a vision, because the details that are mentioned in the Bible could not have been seen by the naked eye from this point. If you take a look in this direction, now it might be a little bit hazy now, but even on the clearest of days, which is during April time, you can see that you can almost see the city of Jerusalem from here, and you can very clearly see the city of Jericho from here, but you cannot see the details that have been mentioned. For example, the pillars which had the 12 tribes written on them. Those cannot be seen from this point. So that must have been a vision given to him by God. Yes, and of course, and where we are standing here, the details that are described in the Bible, it must have been either this point or a very close by point. So where we are standing now must have been where Moses stood thousands of years ago.
There's his rod.
Now I'll come to that. This is something different. This is new. This is new. Yes, yeah. And of course, now if you come closer, I can tell you what you will see on a clear day. The most important thing that you want to see is the Dead Sea in this direction, and the Jordan River. But of course, we cannot see it now. The Jordan River goes in a snake wavy shape all along until the northward. And of course, all of those lowlands, all of this landscape is called the Jordan Valley. In this direction, we have Jericho City, and right on Jericho City is Bethany. Bethany is the place where Jesus Christ was baptized. Yes, no, Bethany. Bethany, or Betania in Arabic, which means the crossing place. This is where Jesus Christ baptized, and he crossed from the western side of the river. From the eastern side of the river to the western side, when John the Baptist baptized Jesus Christ in the river Jordan. Yes. And also one very important thing to know, Bethany, or the place where Jesus Christ was baptized, is on the eastern side of the river, and not on the western side. It is on the Jordanian side, and it has been recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site in 2015. It was scientifically proven by historians and scientists. When we go to Madaba, when we see the mosaic map, also there is also proof I will be showing it to you on the map. And of course, yeah, this is the road that we took. Yes. On the way up. Yes, yes, coming up. Yes. Bronze snake. Now, this monument has been erected also after the visit of the Pope John Paul II. And of course, this is in reference to the bronze serpent that God ordered Moses to craft for them to pass through the desert and survive the snake bites. So, God told Moses, you hold the staff, you walk in front, and you hold the staff up. And whoever has faith in me looks at the serpent and gets healed immediately of the snake bites that have been biting them in their ankles. And of course, this monument is a mix between the bronze serpent and a cross, if you can see. And this is to show the union between the Old Testament and the New Testament. And there is a verse from John's book. It is written beneath the serpent, and it says, just like the serpent was lifted, Moses lifted the serpent in the desert, the Son of Man must be lifted, so whoever believes will get eternal life. Amen. And now, for our last stop, we'll be entering this building. Now, this building over here is a church, except it is not only one church, it is 5 churches inside. It used to be a conglomerate of churches. There are 5 churches inside that have been built over a period of time between the 7th century and the 12th century. Now, yes, we have space now. Please tell me. Tell you about what it was. This is a demonstration of one of the pieces of mosaic that you will find inside. The first mosaic that you will find inside as soon as you enter, to your left, on the floor. This is called the diaconocon mosaic or the carpet mosaic. And this is in reference to how well it is preserved. Now, the story of this, or how it got so well preserved, dates back to an event that happened during Byzantine time, which was the Iconoclasm War, which was a war that the Roman Emperor Leo waged on the Holy Land under the pretense of stopping the church from worshipping the icons. Now, the real reason for this war was to steal the gold of the churches, because the Roman Empire was on the wane and they needed gold to support the empire. Now, before the Roman army arrived at this place, the monks who were in this monastery, they knew about their arrival, so they decided to cover this piece of mosaic with another piece of mosaic without having faces on it, because the objective of the Roman army was to come and deface all of the icons. And now, once you go inside, you can see this one is still on the floor, and the mosaic piece that was covering it, they are hanged on the wall. So keep your eye out on the pieces of mosaic hanging on the side of the wall. Now, on what this mosaic represents, or what it has drawn on it, there are 4 lines that represent the evolution of human society. So, on the first line, we can see humans in the hunting and gathering phase. This is the early phase of humanity, where humans were nomads. They were traveling all the time, and they were hunting for their food and moving all around to keep surviving. In the second phase, we can see humans domesticating animals, using horses, for example, to hunt animals, and using also dogs, trained dogs, to hunt other animals. The third phase, or the third line, it shows us where humanity started settling down and discovering agriculture. Yes, yeah. And the fourth line represents trade. We can see here a dark-skinned figure, which means that a person from Africa must have visited this place. And we can see also animals that are not local to this place. And there is one funny thing over here. This drawing over here, yeah, it's supposed to be a giraffe, but it's actually a camel. But the people here, they did not know how giraffes look like, so they decided to draw a camel and put dots on it. And of course, you can see also a zebra and an ostrich. So now I will give you, I think, maybe 10 minutes should be good to explore inside. I'll be waiting for you over here. Okay, and one thing before you, actually two things before you go inside. One thing, the first is whoever finds the 5 churches gets a cookie. Okay? The 5 churches. There are 5 churches inside. It represents the 10 commandments, getting the 10 commandments of the Mount Sinai. The second one is the serpent story, the bronze serpent. The third one is related to Moses' death. I want you to take a look at it and tell me what you think, and then I will tell you an alternative theory, and maybe we can discuss it and tell me what you think about it. Okay?
Yes.
It's the end of the church. Once you enter, this is the thing that you find when you face once you enter the church. And this is where the altar used to be set up. So whenever there is an apse, that means this is a separate church. And did you see the mosaic? The carpet one. Pretty amazing, I guess. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And there is also the urn. Baptism as well, and to the right. Yes. Of course, the main church is the one in the middle.
Yes.
And it is split into three parts by 2 columns of by 2 rows of columns. And this is called basilica design. This is the old design. And of course, the entrance is always through the middle. You can see the stairs over there. These stairs used to lead into the entrance, and you can see the difference between the new building and the old building. The old building is the rocks on the bottom, and the new building is everything on top. And you can see also the cross on top. This is part of the church. Yes. So basically, we have 2 small churches on the left, and 2 small on the right, and the main one is right.
Cross and then
And the ones I'm referring to are 2 pieces of evidence. The first one is this painting, and the other one is the story of Transfiguration on on the Mount of Transfiguration, when Jesus appeared to his disciples in his godly form. And in this story, he had 2 characters on each side, one on each side.
yes.
One of them was Elijah. And we all know that Elijah was taken in body to the heavens in the fire chariot. And the other one was Moses as well. So this might be a hint that Moses might have not been buried on earth. He might have died on earth, but he might have been taken in body to the heavens. And this is why we might, because Moses is a very influential and big character in religion, it does not make sense for such a character to not know where he was buried or where he died. So this might be also, it might be, we don't know, we cannot know for sure, because the Bible is ambiguous about this. But this is food for thought, as they say. Give it a think, and I just wanted to share this with you. Okay, so now our visit to Mount Nebo has ended. We will be taking the other way around.